Welcome inside the CBC Olympics Digital Studios. This is Paris Pulse, Day 9. I'm Dale Manucdoc. She's Meg Roberts. Meg, Day 9, can you believe it?
No, I can't. And we've got lots coming up in the show. Medals, medals, and more medals. Canada is on a roll. It was also a historic night in the pool. Brittany McLean breaks that all down for us. Also, video from St. Lucia is going viral after the women's 100-meter race. And we also chat with gymnast Ellie Black as she finishes her 4th Olympic Games. And as always, I have the details about what you need to tune into. Dale, it seems like every time we open this show, we're opening up on medals because we just keep winning them. And the latest, Wyatt Sanford, he has won a bronze medal in the men's 63.5 kilogram boxing weight class. You watched it?
Yeah, I watched the whole thing from the opening bell. Wyatt Sanford came out a little bit slow. The Frenchman, Sofiane Oumia, was a real showboat of a fighter in that first round, fighting a lot with his hands down. But this is what I love the most about a 3-round fight is that if you lose the first round, you have to come out pressing in the second and thirds to catch up. That is Wyatt Sanford's MO when he fights these 3-round fights. But unfortunately, not enough to get it done. But he does make himself proud, his country proud, and obviously his hometown.
Oh, his hometown, I think, is absolutely elated. We have seen the support from them since his first match. We've got a little tape from that first match of, the people in Kennecook, Nova Scotia, pretty pleased.
Showing out for their boy. For that, everyone grab it. Yeah! That was probably a win.
This is so Canadian. You're in a field, next to some forest, big television setup, and the entire hometown is out to support you bright and early in the morning. I lived on the East Coast for about 4 years in Newfoundland and Labrador. East Coast people show up for each other all the time, so I am not surprised to see those scenes, but how heartwarming, and especially for him, to have that love back at home must mean so much.
I mean, he means a lot to them. He means a lot to this country in terms of what he's done for boxing. He's the first medalist since 1996, and he put his name in the history books with Lennox Lewis, who is universally recognized as one of the greatest heavyweights of all time. So anytime you can be in a sentence with Lennox Lewis, you're doing something right.
And he wasn't the only one that made the history books. Summer McIntosh last night, we have to talk about her. 3 gold medals, 1 silver. She is going down in the history books. People said that she could pull this off in Paris, and she did. She delivered the goods.
This race was unbelievable. We watched it together. This, for me, was her most exciting race just because of that unknown on that last 50 meters freestyle.
She was up in the race, then she was down at one point. It was like, are we going for bronze here? That last 50 meters, she kicked it into a gear I don't know if we've seen before. She left everything in that swimming pool.
That's called hitting the NOS. She hit the NOS on that last 50 meters.
She did, and what a special moment for Canadians and her. And there was other special moments for Canadian swimmers as well.
That's right. Ilya Haroun and Josh Leando both hit the podium in the 100-meter fly. Ilya Haroun getting his 2nd bronze medal. Josh Leando his 1st medal overall at the Olympics.
And this is a history-making moment because this is the first time that 2 male Canadian swimmers have been on the podium together. And I love this. Ilya Haroun had a quote afterwards that they manifested this because they were saying earlier, wouldn't it be so awesome if both of us could get on the podium? And they did, 2nd and 3rd. That is incredible.
Yeah, we spoke to our swimming analyst, Brittany McLean, about it. Here's what she had to say.
Yeah, I mean, he said after missing the podium by just a few 100ths of a second in the 50 free, he was coming back with motivation to get on this time. And I mean, he was only 9 100ths away from the Olympic gold. So he's on the wrong end of those hundredths for this meet, but what a performance. I mean, a Canadian record time. He's the first ever male in Canada to get under the 50-second barrier, and definitely in swimming, it's all about kind of getting under those barriers. So that's a huge accomplishment. We've never had anyone else do it. But to get on an Olympic podium, like I had to pinch myself. I've never seen it done at a Worlds or an Olympics. And so for me to sit back and realize I'm watching Olympic Games history in front of me as it's happening, it was really special. And I know they're both tremendously proud. One of my highlights was just watching, I think it was Ilya doing an interview, and then Josh came and tackled him. And for them to be able to share that moment as teammates and to know that we have 2 of the top 3 100 butterflies in the world represent Canada. Of course, we've mentioned it, but first ever time we've had 2 men on the podium at the Olympic Games in swimming.
So the men's team did wrap up their Paris 2024 games. They just raced the 100-meter medley relay, they finished 5th place.
And Brittany has said this before, but the women's program has obviously been so strong for so many years that this felt like maybe a real turning point, obviously, on the men's side. You know, 2 swimmers that are getting on the podium. I'm excited to see what they do in 4 years and the next 8 years as well.
100%. We got to talk about the 100-meter sprint on the women's side. Such a big race. Everyone was looking forward to it. So much so that superstar singer Adele stopped her show midway through to show the crowd the race.
Yeah, when you said everyone was watching, we mean everyone, including everyone who went to that Adele concert.
Like, what is that, 30,000, 40,000 people? Yeah. Unbelievable.
And everyone's talking about this because it was a bit of an upset. Sha'Carri Richardson was obviously slated for that gold medal, but it was not her that took home the gold. It was Julian Alford from St. Lucia. Such a special moment for her because this is actually the country's first Olympic medal. The country ever. That's it.
And
That's
it's a
the one.
gold.
And it's a gold medal. You know, this is a country that has a population of 180,000 people.
And the video going around social media basically shows all of those people in one place watching this one moment happen. Unbelievable scenes. Let's show people what happened.
This made me emotional when I saw it
100%.
last night. Like, I cried.
You know what? You can never take away that you are the first person to do something for your country. So unbelievable for them. You know, I spoke to CBC Sports senior contributor Morgan Campbell yesterday. He has family in St. Lucia, and he says that his phone was blowing up.
She has granted them such a special moment. That is something none of them are ever going to forget, obviously.
And a special moment that we got to talk about on the Canadian side, Ellie Black had one herself.
Yes, she did. She has just completed her 4th Olympic Games at the age of 28. She has never won an Olympic medal before, although she has won lots of other international tournaments. But what she will go down in the history books is being so wildly kind to people. And that is a legacy that you can stand behind.
That's right. There was a moment captured on video of her comforting French gymnast Melanie de Jesus dos Santos that everybody has fallen in love with. We spoke to Ellie Black about that moment, what was going through her mind. Here's what she had to say.
Gymnastics is so tough. It brings you through the highest of highs and the lowest of lows, and it can be so emotional. And sharing our first qualification day with France, they did not have the qualification they were hoping for, and a lot of them were a bit heartbroken. So I've known Melanie for a really long time, and that's the beauty of sport, is we have phenomenal friendships and connections. And so I just wanted to remind her that, you know, she is enough. It's who she is as a person and what she has brought to the sport, that the crowd was there for her, cheering for her. We all support her. So even though it wasn't quite her day, there's just more than, you know, results in sport. And I think it's looking at that bigger picture. So just giving her that support, being there as a friend and as a teammate, and just, yeah, trying to give her all the love possible. We are not just only athletes. I think we are humans, and people can relate to that. And, you know, it's such a beautiful thing, sport, when it goes well, but it's also so tough when it doesn't. And, you know, we see at the highest level usually all those amazing moments, but you don't see that hard work and that disappointment and those low moments that happen a lot of the time behind the scenes. So I think people can just, you know, really relate to that, and seeing humans care for humans, I think, is the biggest thing that people can relate to from that.
Spoken like a true competitor, Ellie Black. Like, congratulations on having that mentality throughout your games. You know, you hear from other teams in other countries about how much Ellie Black means to them in their program. Like, that is incredible.
And she's bang on there, and that's why it resonated with so many people. I'll read you some of the comments online. Ellie Black is my hero for hugging her. As a Canadian, that moment was cooler than any of their medals so far. And the best one, don't need a gold medal when you've already got a heart of gold.
Oh, that one got me.
You like that one?
I love that one. That is very touching. No matter what Ellie Black does, I'm not sure if this is her last one or maybe there's another Olympics under her belt. But whatever she does, it's going to be spectacular. I would love to see her in like a coaching role or a mentorship role.
I got to interrupt, Meg, because we're just finding out that the women's program on the swimming team just wrapped up. They finished 4th place in their medley relay. So that wraps up the Olympics for them. Summer McIntosh finishes off with 4 total medals, 3 gold, 1 silver.
Incredible Olympics for her. She'll go down in the history books. Okay, and there's still lots more history potentially to be made. Meg's must watch coming up now. You have to watch this one.
Have to.
Dale, you have to.
H-A-F-T-A. Have to.
Ethan Katzberg and Rowan Hamilton, they are in the men's hammer throw final. The reason you have to watch this is because it's been 112 years since Canadians had a medal in this event. Katzberg is the world champion, and he has also thrown the top 4 throws this season. So big medal contender here. I also love this because the two of them, as you've noticed, they kind of look a little bit alike, and everybody's referring to them as brothers. So imagine if they both get on the podium. That would be a big, big moment.
They look intimidating.
They do. That final goes at 2:30 p.m. today. That is on day 9. All right, of course, the marquee event, the men's 100-meter race. The semifinals and the finals happen today. Andre de Grasse is in the semifinal at 2 p.m. He's the only Canadian in this.
Licking his chops.
He is.
Wants that 7th medal.
It's going to be a really tough competition. Obviously, Noah Lyles there.
Dane Thompson.
There's lots of good
Lot of star
contenders for
power.
this. The final goes at 3:50 p.m. today. And I also want to touch a little bit on tomorrow because beach volleyball is coming up. The Canadians are playing the United States in the round of 16. That's Brandy Wilkerson and Melissa Humana Paredes. That game is on at noon Eastern time tomorrow.
How could you focus with the Eiffel Tower right there?
Beautiful scene. Like we said, this has got to be one of the nicest venues. But that all happens on day 10. I can't believe I'm saying day 10.
And hopefully we'll see you on day 10 at 1:30 p.m. Eastern live on YouTube.